Welcome to episode 50 of Learn English with Podcast Conversation. I'm Jennifer, and today we're focusing on a crucial topic in the workplace: how to communicate effectively while making business plans with colleagues.
And I'm Thomas. In today's professional world, communication is at the heart of every successful business interaction. Whether you're working on projects, discussing strategies, or simply brainstorming, clear communication helps ensure everyone's on the same page.
That's right. Listening to podcasts like ours can help you improve your listening skills and enhance your communication abilities. You'll also learn key vocabulary and expressions to use in professional settings.
Throughout this episode, we'll share practical tips on how to convey your ideas clearly, work effectively with your team, and collaborate on creating efficient business plans. By practicing with us, you'll build confidence in your English communication, which is essential for advancing your career.
So let's dive in and get started on mastering professional communication.
Before we jump into specific techniques, let's discuss why communication is so essential when making business plans.
Great point, Thomas. Communication is the backbone of any successful plan. Without clear and open channels, even the best ideas can get lost. Misunderstandings are common when people don't articulate their thoughts properly, leading to confusion and wasted time.
Exactly. When you're collaborating with others, it's important to make sure that everyone understands the objectives, the timeline, and the specific tasks assigned to them. Clear communication helps keep everyone aligned toward the same goals.
And it's not just about getting your point across. It's also about actively listening to your colleagues. By really listening, you can respond to concerns, incorporate different perspectives, and ensure that everyone feels heard.
That's so true, Jennifer. Active listening can foster better teamwork and stronger relationships. When people feel that their opinions matter, they're more likely to contribute valuable ideas and solutions to the project.
So, effective communication isn't just about talking, it's also about fostering an environment where collaboration thrives.
When you're discussing a business plan with colleagues, it's essential to start by defining clear objectives. Everyone needs to know what the end goal is.
For instance, if you're discussing a new marketing strategy, make sure everyone understands the purpose of the meeting. Are you there to brainstorm ideas, finalize the plan, or evaluate results? Knowing this will shape how the conversation unfolds.
Exactly, and it's important to set these expectations early on in the meeting. This way, everyone knows what they're working toward and can contribute in a meaningful way.
And don't forget to ask for input from the team. Clear objectives shouldn't be a one-way communication. Encourage your colleagues to share their thoughts, ask questions, and suggest improvements. This makes the entire process more collaborative.
A well-defined objective gives structure to the discussion and keeps everyone on the same page, allowing for more productive and efficient meetings. Jennifer, you mentioned earlier the importance of active listening. Let's dive a bit deeper into that, especially when working on business plans with colleagues.
Active listening is absolutely vital. When we think about communication, we often focus on what we want to say. But listening to what others have to say is just as important, if not more so.
Exactly. When you're discussing a business plan, it's crucial to pay attention not only to the words being said, but also to the tone, body language, and context behind those words. This can give you insights into concerns, uncertainties, or even great ideas that aren't immediately apparent.
That's a great point, Thomas. Also, when you actively listen, you're more likely to pick up on key details that could otherwise be missed. This helps in making more informed decisions and shows your colleagues that you value their input.
And remember, active listening isn't just about hearing. It involves asking follow-up questions, summarizing what you've heard, and clarifying anything that isn't clear. This ensures that everyone is on the same page.
Yes, and by practicing active listening, you create an open dialogue where people feel comfortable sharing ideas, leading to stronger collaboration and better business outcomes. Now, let's talk about how important it is to tailor your message to your audience when you're working on business plans.
Right, because different people respond to different styles of communication. When you're presenting an idea to upper management, for example, they're likely more interested in the bigger picture outcomes, profits, strategies, whereas with your team, you might focus more on the process, tasks, and collaboration.
Exactly. It's important to know what matters most to the person or group you're talking to. This will help you frame your message in a way that resonates with them.
One of the best ways to do this is by adjusting your language. Use clear, direct language with your colleagues when discussing tasks and deadlines. But when presenting to higher-ups, you might need to use more formal language and focus on the strategic impact of your plan.
And don't forget to adapt your tone. A collaborative, open tone can be great when you're brainstorming with your team. But if you're in a more formal meeting with executives, you might want to strike a more professional tone to match the setting.
Tailoring your message shows that you're thoughtful about your communication and that you understand the needs of your audience. It helps you make a stronger connection and ensures that your message is received well.
When discussing business plans, it's important to keep the conversation open and flowing. One of the best ways to do this is by asking open-ended questions.
Exactly. Open-ended questions encourage dialogue and invite your colleagues to share their thoughts and perspectives. Instead of asking, "Do you think this plan will work?" which might only get a yes or no answer, you could ask, "What do you think about this plan?" This encourages a more detailed response.
That's a great example. Open-ended questions help generate new ideas, identify potential challenges, and create a space where everyone feels comfortable contributing.
They also show that you're genuinely interested in hearing from your colleagues. This kind of approach fosters collaboration and trust within the team, as everyone feels like their opinion is valued.
And don't just ask questions for the sake of it. Make sure you listen to the answers. As we mentioned earlier, active listening plays a huge role in these discussions. When you ask a good open-ended question and follow it up with attentive listening, you can really dig deep into the conversation.
That's right, Jennifer. Open-ended questions are a great tool for encouraging deeper, more productive conversations and ensuring that everyone's ideas are considered. Another critical aspect of professional communication is providing constructive feedback. Jennifer, why do you think feedback is so important in the business planning process?
Feedback is essential because it helps improve the quality of the work. When you give constructive feedback, you're not just pointing out what's wrong. You're offering suggestions for improvement. This creates a more supportive environment where everyone can learn and grow.
Exactly. It's all about being specific and actionable. Instead of saying, "This part is confusing," you might say, "I think this section could be clearer if we add some examples." This way, you're guiding your colleague toward a solution rather than just criticizing them.
And remember, the tone of your feedback matters too. It's crucial to be respectful and empathetic, especially if someone is feeling defensive. Starting with something positive, like "I appreciate the effort you put into this," can help cushion the feedback and make it easier for the other person to accept.
Right. Also, it's important to be open to receiving feedback as well. When you demonstrate that you're willing to listen and consider other suggestions, it sets a tone of collaboration and mutual respect.
Ultimately, constructive feedback fosters a culture of improvement and innovation. It helps everyone stay aligned with the project goals and creates a team that's capable of achieving more together. Now let's shift gears and discuss the role of nonverbal communication in professional settings. Thomas, why do you think nonverbal cues are significant when making business plans?
Nonverbal communication can convey so much without saying a word. Your body language, facial expressions, and even your tone of voice can significantly impact how your message is received. For example, maintaining eye contact shows confidence and engagement, while crossed arms might indicate defensiveness or resistance.
Exactly. It's essential to be aware of these cues. When you're in a meeting, try to read the room. If someone seems disengaged or uncomfortable, it might be worth addressing their concerns directly. You can ask, "I noticed you seemed quiet. Do you have any thoughts on this?"
Additionally, your nonverbal cues should align with your spoken words. If you're discussing a passionate topic but your body language is closed off, it can confuse your audience. Aim for a posture that reflects openness and enthusiasm to reinforce your message.
And remember, nonverbal communication isn't just about what you convey. It's also about how you interpret others' cues. Being attuned to your colleagues' reactions can help you adjust your approach and ensure the conversation stays productive.
Overall, being aware of and managing nonverbal communication can enhance your effectiveness as a communicator in professional environments. Jennifer, preparation is key when it comes to making business plans. What are some steps you recommend for preparing for a meeting?
Great question. First, it's essential to have a clear agenda. This helps guide the discussion and ensures that all necessary topics are covered. Distributing the agenda beforehand gives everyone a chance to prepare their thoughts and questions.
Absolutely. Additionally, it's helpful to gather any necessary materials or data that may support your points. This could be reports, charts, or any relevant documentation that could help inform your colleagues.
And practice your presentation. If you're presenting an idea, rehearsing what you want to say can help you feel more confident. This also allows you to identify potential questions or objections your colleagues might have, enabling you to address them proactively.
That's a good point. It's also beneficial to anticipate the needs and perspectives of your colleagues. Understanding their roles in the project can help you tailor your message and ensure you're addressing their concerns.
Finally, try to create an inviting atmosphere for the meeting. Set up the room so that everyone can see each other, and encourage participation by being open and approachable. Collaboration is vital in any business planning process. Thomas, how can we encourage collaboration among our colleagues?
One effective way to encourage collaboration is to establish a culture of openness. This means creating an environment where team members feel comfortable sharing their ideas and opinions without fear of judgment.
That's crucial. You can start by actively inviting input from everyone in the meeting. For example, say things like, "I'd love to hear your thoughts on this," or "Does anyone have a different perspective?" This can make team members feel valued.
Using collaborative tools can also facilitate communication. Tools like shared documents or project management apps allow everyone to contribute ideas and track progress in real time, which can make the planning process more efficient.
And don't forget to celebrate team achievements. Acknowledging the contributions of team members can boost morale and motivate everyone to continue working together toward common goals.
Ultimately, encouraging collaboration helps build a stronger team dynamic and leads to more creative and effective business plans. Another key aspect of professional communication is being open to new ideas. Why do you think this is important, Jennifer?
Being open to new ideas is crucial because it fosters innovation. If team members feel that their creative thoughts are welcome, they're more likely to contribute unique solutions that can enhance the planning process.
Exactly. It's essential to create an environment where everyone feels empowered to share their ideas. Even if an idea initially seems unrealistic, discussing it can lead to valuable insights or modifications that improve the overall plan.
And when considering new ideas, it's important to evaluate them critically rather than dismissing them outright. You can ask questions like, "How can we adapt this idea to fit our objectives?" This encourages a productive discussion and could lead to exciting breakthroughs.
Moreover, being open to ideas isn't just about accepting suggestions. It's also about being willing to pivot your own perspective. If new information or insights emerge, don't hesitate to adjust your plans accordingly.
Incorporating fresh perspectives into your planning process can lead to better outcomes and a more dynamic team environment. After meetings, follow-up communication is crucial. Thomas, what should we keep in mind regarding follow-up?
Follow-up ensures that everyone is on the same page and understands their responsibilities. After a meeting, it's a good practice to send a summary of the discussion, including key decisions and action items.
That's a great point. This helps reinforce what was discussed and keeps everyone accountable. It's also beneficial to set deadlines for tasks, as this clarifies expectations and timelines.
Additionally, if there were any unresolved issues or questions during the meeting, following up allows you to address them. This shows that you value your colleagues' input and are committed to finding solutions.
And don't forget to check in periodically on progress. This can be as simple as sending a quick message to see how things are going or scheduling a brief follow-up meeting to discuss any challenges.
Consistent follow-up not only helps keep projects on track, but also fosters a culture of communication and collaboration. Difficult conversations are sometimes inevitable in business. Jennifer, how can we navigate these conversations effectively?
Navigating difficult conversations requires preparation and empathy. Start by clarifying your thoughts and emotions before the conversation. Knowing what you want to convey can help you articulate your message clearly.
That's important. When you begin the conversation, try to set a positive tone. For instance, you might start with, "I appreciate the work you've done, but I'd like to discuss some concerns I have."
And remember to approach the conversation with an open mind. Listen to the other person's perspective and try to understand their point of view. This can help de-escalate tension and foster a more productive discussion.
It can also be helpful to focus on finding solutions rather than assigning blame. Instead of saying, "You didn't do this right," you could frame it as, "How can we address this issue together?"
By maintaining a collaborative mindset, you can turn difficult conversations into opportunities for growth and improvement. In today's global work environment, understanding cultural differences is essential. Thomas, how does culture impact communication in professional settings?
Cultural differences can greatly influence communication styles, values, and expectations. For instance, in some cultures, direct communication is valued, while in others, a more indirect approach may be preferred.
Exactly. When you're working with colleagues from diverse backgrounds, it's essential to be aware of these differences. This awareness can help prevent misunderstandings and foster more effective communication.
One way to navigate these differences is by being observant and adaptable. Pay attention to how your colleagues communicate and adjust your style accordingly.
And don't hesitate to ask questions get the best of you. When addressing conflict, focus on the issue, not the person. You can start by saying something like, "I've noticed we have different perspectives on this matter, and I'd like to find a way to work through it together."
That's a great approach. By focusing on the problem rather than making it personal, you can keep the conversation constructive. It's also important to listen actively to the other person's concerns. Often, conflicts arise because people feel unheard or misunderstood.
Yes, active listening is key. You might say, "I understand that you're feeling frustrated about this change. Can you share more about what specifically concerns you?" This not only shows empathy, but also opens up space for a productive dialogue.
Another important factor is finding common ground. While you may have different views, identifying shared goals can help you work toward a resolution. For example, we both want this project to succeed, so let's figure out the best way to move forward.
And, of course, be willing to compromise when necessary. In many cases, neither side will get exactly what they want, but finding a middle ground can help preserve professional relationships and ensure progress is made.
In the end, managing conflict constructively can strengthen team dynamics and lead to better business outcomes.
Trust is the foundation of any successful business relationship. Thomas, how can we build and maintain trust with our colleagues during the planning process?
Building trust starts with consistency and transparency. When you say you're going to do something, follow through on your promises. This helps your colleagues know they can rely on you.
Absolutely. Transparency is also key. Being open about challenges or uncertainties in the planning process builds trust. Instead of hiding potential issues, it's better to communicate them early on so the team can work together to find solutions.
And, of course, being supportive of your colleagues builds trust as well. Show that you value their input by listening carefully and respecting their opinions, even if you don't always agree.
Trust is also built through empathy. When someone on your team is struggling, offering support and understanding can go a long way in strengthening your professional relationships.
Over time, trust leads to more open communication, better collaboration, and more effective business planning. It's something that must be nurtured throughout the entire working relationship. Jennifer, uncertainty is often a part of business planning. How do you suggest handling uncertainty when working on a business plan with colleagues?
Uncertainty can be challenging, but it's important to approach it with flexibility. One way to handle uncertainty is to build contingency plans. For example, if a key part of your plan depends on external factors, make sure to have a backup plan in case things don't go as expected.
That's right. Flexibility is crucial. A plan doesn't have to be set in stone. It can be adjusted as new information or challenges arise. Being open to revisiting and revising the plan allows the team to adapt to changes more effectively.
And communication plays a big role here. Keeping everyone informed about uncertainties or potential risks helps manage expectations and keeps the team aligned. It's also important to encourage open dialogue about any concerns team members might have regarding the uncertainty.
Another thing to remember is to stay focused on the long-term goals. While there may be short-term uncertainties, keeping the team focused on the overarching objectives can help maintain momentum and keep the planning process moving forward.
Embracing uncertainty as part of the planning process can actually lead to more creative solutions and stronger collaboration. It's all about staying adaptable and working together to navigate through the unknowns. Negotiation is an essential skill in business planning. Thomas, what's your approach to negotiation when collaborating with colleagues?
In negotiation, I believe it's important to aim for a win-win outcome. This means trying to find a solution where both parties feel their needs have been met. To achieve this, I always start by understanding the other person's perspective and what's important to them.
That's a great strategy. When you show that you're listening and willing to consider the other person's needs, they're more likely to work with you to find a mutually beneficial solution. It's important to keep in mind that negotiation isn't about winning. It's about reaching a compromise that benefits both parties.
Exactly. I also find it helpful to stay patient and open-minded. Sometimes negotiations take time, and it's important not to rush to a decision just for the sake of moving forward. Taking the time to explore all options can lead to a better outcome.
And don't be afraid to ask questions during the negotiation process. Asking clarifying questions, such as what's your main concern here? Or how can we find a middle ground on this? Can help uncover opportunities for compromise.
In the end, successful negotiation strengthens relationships and builds a foundation of collaboration and respect. Jennifer, creating a timeline is crucial in any business plan. How do you approach developing a timeline with your colleagues?
When building a timeline, I like to start by breaking down the project into key milestones. These are the major points we want to reach, and they help structure the overall plan. Once we have those, we can assign deadlines and responsibilities for each stage.
That's a great method. I also find it useful to estimate the time each task will take and then add some buffer time. This accounts for unexpected delays or challenges, ensuring that the project stays on track even if there are minor setbacks.
Communication is key throughout this process. I always encourage my colleagues to speak up if they feel the timeline is too tight or if they need additional resources. By keeping the conversation open, we can make adjustments as needed to ensure the timeline is realistic. Creating a timeline that works for everyone is essential for ensuring that the business plan can be executed efficiently and successfully. Thomas, technology plays a significant role in modern business planning. How do you recommend leveraging technology when collaborating with colleagues?
Technology has completely transformed how we approach business planning. Tools like collaborative document platforms and project management apps allow teams to work together in real time, no matter where they are. This makes it easier to share ideas, track progress, and keep everyone aligned.
Exactly. And these tools are especially helpful when managing larger teams or complex projects. For example, video conferencing tools make it easy to hold meetings with remote colleagues, and file sharing platforms ensure that everyone has access to the latest versions of important documents.
Automation can also be a game changer. Using automation to handle repetitive tasks, such as sending reminders or generating reports, can free up time for the team to focus on more strategic work.
And don't forget data analytics tools. These tools can provide valuable insights that help guide decision making. Whether you're analyzing market trends or tracking project performance, having data at your fingertips can help you make more informed business decisions.
Leveraging technology effectively can streamline the entire planning process and increase the chances of a successful outcome. Jennifer, when working on a business plan with colleagues, how do you ensure that roles and responsibilities are balanced?
Balancing roles and responsibilities is all about playing to each team member's strengths. I like to start by discussing everyone's skills and experience. This helps ensure that tasks are assigned to the people best suited to handle them, which increases efficiency and productivity.
That's a great approach. It's also important to ensure that no one feels overwhelmed or underutilized. Regular check-ins with the team can help identify if someone is struggling with their workload or if someone else has extra capacity to take on more tasks.
And sometimes, tasks need to be redistributed as the project evolves. Being flexible and willing to adjust responsibilities ensures that the team remains productive and balanced.
Absolutely. It's also important to celebrate when tasks are completed successfully. Recognizing each team member's contributions helps boost morale and fosters a sense of accomplishment.
When roles and responsibilities are balanced, the team works more smoothly and the business plan is executed more effectively.
Jennifer, feedback is a critical component of successful business planning. How do you approach giving and receiving feedback within your team?
I believe that feedback should be constructive and timely. When giving feedback, it's important to be specific. Instead of saying, "This needs work," I would say, "I think the market analysis could use more data to support your claims." This clarity helps the person understand exactly what to improve.
That's a fantastic approach. It's also essential to frame feedback positively. Starting with what someone did well before diving into areas for improvement can make the feedback feel more balanced and less intimidating.
Absolutely. And when it comes to receiving feedback, I try to remain open-minded. It's easy to feel defensive, but I remind myself that feedback is an opportunity for growth. Asking clarifying questions like, "Can you explain what you mean?" can help me understand the other person's perspective better.
Feedback loops are also essential. After incorporating feedback, revisiting the conversation can help everyone see the progress made and reinforce a culture of continuous improvement.
When everyone is open to giving and receiving feedback, it leads to a more collaborative and productive environment. Setting clear objectives is crucial for a successful business plan. How do you ensure that everyone is aligned on these objectives, Thomas?
I like to start by creating a shared document that outlines our objectives and key performance indicators. This way, everyone has a clear understanding of what we are aiming to achieve. It also helps us measure our progress as we go along.
That's a great idea. It's important to make sure the objectives are SMART specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. This framework helps everyone know what is expected and how success will be measured.
And I think regular check-ins are essential too. Discussing our progress towards these objectives during team meetings keeps everyone accountable and allows us to make necessary adjustments.
I also encourage team members to voice any concerns they have about the objectives. If someone feels that a goal is unrealistic, addressing it early on can prevent frustration later in the process.
Clear objectives provide direction and motivate the team, which ultimately leads to a more successful business plan. Jennifer, collaborative problem solving is a valuable skill in business planning. How do you facilitate this process with your colleagues?
I find that creating a safe space for brainstorming is key. Encouraging everyone to share their ideas without judgment can lead to more creative solutions. I often say, there are no bad ideas here. Let's just put everything on the table.
That's a great way to foster creativity. I also think it's important to guide the discussion towards specific solutions. After gathering ideas, we can evaluate which ones are most feasible and align with our objectives.
Exactly. It's also beneficial to involve everyone in the decision-making process. When people feel their opinions are valued, they are more likely to be committed to the solution we choose.
And sometimes, using techniques like the 5 whys can help us dig deeper into the root causes of a problem. This approach encourages us to ask why multiple times to uncover underlying issues.
Collaborative problem solving not only leads to better solutions, but also strengthens team dynamics and builds trust among colleagues. Creating an inclusive environment is vital for effective business planning. How do you promote inclusivity in your team, Thomas?
I believe inclusivity starts with acknowledging and valuing diverse perspectives. I always encourage team members to share their unique viewpoints, especially when planning projects that may impact different stakeholders.
That's a great point. It's also important to actively seek input from quieter team members. Sometimes they have valuable insights that can get overlooked. I try to ensure that everyone has a chance to contribute during meetings.
Absolutely. Using techniques like round-robin discussions, where everyone has a chance to speak in turn, can help ensure that everyone's voice is heard.
And being mindful of language and cultural differences is crucial as well. Using clear and accessible language can help all team members feel comfortable engaging in the discussion.
Creating an inclusive environment fosters collaboration and innovation, leading to more successful business plans. Jennifer, managing team dynamics is important for successful collaboration. How do you navigate different personalities within a team?
I think understanding each team member's working style is key. Some people prefer detailed plans, while others thrive in more flexible environments. Acknowledging these differences can help tailor our approach to fit everyone's needs.
That's a great insight. I also try to promote a culture of respect and empathy. When team members feel valued and understood, it creates a more positive atmosphere for collaboration.
And addressing conflicts promptly is crucial. When issues arise, I encourage open discussions where everyone can express their feelings and perspectives. This can help clear misunderstandings before they escalate.
Moreover, fostering teamwork through team-building activities can enhance relationships among team members. Strengthening these bonds helps create a more cohesive team.
Ultimately, effective management of team dynamics leads to smoother collaboration and more successful business outcomes. Meetings can sometimes be unproductive. What are your strategies for ensuring meetings are effective, Thomas?
I believe every meeting should have a clear agenda shared in advance. This allows participants to come prepared and ensures that we stay on topic.
Definitely, time management is crucial too. I often suggest setting a specific time limit for each agenda item to keep the meeting focused and efficient.
And encouraging participation from everyone is essential. I like to ask specific team members for their thoughts on certain topics to ensure everyone contributes.
That's a great approach. Following up with meeting notes can also help reinforce accountability. Sharing what was discussed and the action items ensures that everyone knows what's expected of them.
Effective meetings can drive collaboration and keep the business planning process moving forward. Jennifer, how do you cultivate a feedback culture within your team?
I start by modeling feedback behavior myself. I openly seek feedback on my work and respond positively when I receive it. This encourages others to do the same.
That's a great way to set an example, creating regular opportunities for feedback, such as weekly check-ins, can help normalize the process and make it less intimidating.
Absolutely. I also encourage anonymous feedback to give team members a comfortable way to express their thoughts without fear of judgment. This can lead to more honest and constructive feedback.
And celebrating feedback as a valuable tool for growth is essential. When we view feedback as an opportunity for improvement rather than criticism, it fosters a more supportive atmosphere.
By embracing a feedback culture, we can continuously learn and adapt, which ultimately enhances our business planning process. In a diverse workplace, navigating cultural differences is essential. How do you address this in your business planning, Thomas?
I believe it starts with education. Taking the time to learn about each team member's cultural background can foster understanding and respect. It's also important to be aware of different communication styles.
That's a great point. Encouraging open discussions about cultural norms can help team members understand each other better. This creates a more harmonious work environment.
It's also important to be adaptable. For example, if someone prefers indirect communication, being sensitive to that style can make conversations more productive. Jennifer, how do you measure success in business planning, and why is reflection important?
Measuring success involves assessing whether we met our objectives and KPIs. I like to conduct a review session at the end of the project to analyze what worked and what didn't.
That's a great practice. Reflection allows us to learn from our experiences. Asking questions like, "What could we have done differently?" helps identify areas for improvement.
And it's important to celebrate successes too. Recognizing what went well boosts morale and encourages the team to keep striving for excellence in future projects.
Incorporating these reflections into future planning processes helps create a culture of continuous improvement and keeps the team engaged.
Technology plays a huge role in today's business communication. How do you think it has changed the way we collaborate on business plans, Thomas?
Technology has made collaboration faster and more efficient. Tools like video conferencing, shared documents, and project management apps allow teams to work together in real time, even if they're spread across the globe.
That's true. It's now easier to share updates, track progress, and get feedback almost instantly. For example, using shared platforms like Google Docs means that several people can contribute to the business plan simultaneously without waiting for email attachments to be sent back and forth.
Exactly. It also provides a transparent workflow. Everyone can see the same version of the document and know exactly what stage the project is at, which eliminates confusion and miscommunication.
The downside, however, is the need to ensure everyone is trained to use the tools effectively. When people aren't familiar with the software, it can slow down the process.
True, but once everyone is on the same page, technology greatly enhances productivity and team coordination. Jennifer, as more teams work remotely, how do you manage business planning with a team that isn't in the same location?
One of the most important things is to establish clear communication channels. With remote teams, I make sure we use tools like Slack or Microsoft Teams to keep everyone in constant contact. It's also important to set regular virtual meetings to discuss progress.
I agree. Having a structured approach to communication is key. I also think it's helpful to set expectations early on about working hours, response times, and how to handle time zone differences if team members are spread across different regions.
Absolutely. I also find that trust plays a big role. You have to trust that your team will get the work done, even if you can't see them every day. This means shifting the focus from hours worked to results delivered.
That's a great point. It's more about managing outcomes than micromanaging people's time. A strong plan with clearly defined roles and deadlines can help ensure that the team stays on track.
Remote work requires flexibility, but with good planning and communication, it can be just as effective as working in the same office. Conflicts can arise during business planning. How do you handle disagreements with colleagues during this process, Thomas?
When disagreements occur, I always aim for open and respectful dialogue. It's important to address the issue head-on instead of letting it simmer. I usually start by understanding the other person's perspective, asking questions like, "Why do you feel this way?"
That's a good strategy. I think it's also important to focus on the facts and the goals of the business plan rather than getting personal. Keeping the conversation objective can help de-escalate emotions.
Exactly. I also believe in finding common ground. Even if there's a disagreement, there's usually some aspect that both parties can agree on. Building on that commonality can help guide the conversation toward a resolution.
I agree. And sometimes involving a third party, like a manager or neutral colleague, can help mediate the situation and offer an unbiased perspective.
Effective conflict resolution helps keep the business planning process moving forward without lingering tension, leading to better results in the long run. When creating a business plan, how do you balance short-term goals with long-term objectives, Jennifer?
I find that it's important to break down the long-term goals into smaller, achievable milestones. These milestones act as short-term goals that contribute to the bigger picture. It's easier for the team to stay motivated when they see progress being made toward the final objective.
That's a great approach. I also think it's important to keep revisiting the long-term goals throughout the process. Sometimes short-term needs can shift our focus, but checking in regularly on the big picture helps us stay aligned with our original vision.
Absolutely. Flexibility is key. While we should aim to meet our short-term targets, we shouldn't lose sight of the long-term impact of our decisions. It's a delicate balance.
And prioritization plays a huge role. Deciding which goals need immediate attention versus which ones can be delayed is critical to managing resources effectively.
Balancing both types of goals ensures that the business can thrive in the present while setting itself up for long-term success.
Business plans often require input from different departments. How do you facilitate cross-departmental collaboration? Thomas, I find that clear communication is crucial when working across departments. Each department has its own priorities and expertise, so making sure that everyone understands how their role fits into the bigger picture helps align their efforts with the overall business plan.
That's a good point. I also encourage regular interdepartmental meetings. Bringing people together from different teams allows them to share their perspectives and offer insights that others might not have considered.
And transparency is key. Sharing relevant information across departments helps everyone stay informed and reduces any misunderstandings about what's happening in other areas of the company.
I agree. It's also important to identify the key stakeholders in each department and involve them early in the planning process. This ensures that their input is integrated from the beginning and that there's a sense of ownership across all teams.
Effective cross-departmental collaboration ensures that all aspects of the business plan are well-rounded and supported by the expertise of the entire organization. Jennifer, how do you view the role of leadership in the business planning process?
Leadership is essential for setting the vision and direction of the business plan. A good leader inspires the team by clearly communicating the goals and motivating everyone to work toward them. I believe that leadership is about creating a sense of purpose and helping the team see how their efforts contribute to the bigger picture.
That's a great perspective. I also think leaders play a key role in decision-making. They need to balance listening to their team's input with making the final calls that keep the project on track.
Absolutely. And leaders should be approachable. Encouraging open communication helps build trust and ensures that team members feel comfortable bringing up concerns or new ideas.
I also believe in leading by example. Demonstrating commitment to the project shows the team that their leader is equally invested in its success.
Strong leadership is a driving force behind any successful business plan. It sets the tone for how the team collaborates and tackles challenges along the way. Thomas, as we wrap up this episode on professional communication in business planning, What are your final reflections on what we've discussed?
I think the key takeaway is that clear, open, and consistent communication is the foundation of any successful business plan. Whether you're working with a small team or coordinating across departments, effective communication ensures that everyone is aligned and working toward the same goals.
I completely agree. And as we discussed, it's not just about communicating, it's also about building relationships, fostering collaboration, and being adaptable to different styles and needs within the team.
Looking ahead, I think the next step for anyone involved in business planning is to continually refine these communication skills. The better we become at sharing ideas and managing teamwork, the stronger our business plans will be.
Exactly. We hope our listeners can take these insights and apply them to their own business planning processes, whether they're working in a small startup or a large organization.
Thank you for joining us today, and we hope you'll tune in next time as we continue to explore more topics on professional communication and business planning.